Perfect.
All right, everybody, what's going on? And welcome to today's edition of SWAC Talk. Of course, this is the show where we cover the SWAC inside and out, and I'm your tour guide around the SWAC. See what's coming at you. And it's March Madness, baby. It is dancing time, so go ahead and put your dancing shoes on and let's get on the floor. SWAC has 4 teams in the postseason, so we got a plethora of basketball to talk about, man. We got 2 women's games, 2 men's games. And we're just going to talk about, we're going to basically talk about who these teams are playing more than anything to kind of make you aware of who they're facing. So with that being said, man, you can check out the socials. Facebook is SWAC Talk, Instagram is SWAC Talk, Twitter SWAC Talk 76. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already, man. Hit that subscription button. We making our way up to 900, so we definitely appreciate everything you all have done for us. We definitely appreciate it. And make sure you like the video, man. Hit that like button because, like I said, don't cost nothing to hit that like button. So let's go ahead and jump into this, man. Let's not waste no more time. Let's go ahead and jump into this. And we're going to start off with the NCAA Women's Tournament. Southern is facing Sacred Heart in the 16-16 play-in game. The winner faces Stanford. Southern got in by virtue of winning the SWAC tournament. Sacred Heart got in by winning the Northeast Conference tournament. They finished second place, and so they won the tournament as a second seed. They come in on a 5-game winning streak, so they are kind of hot. Southern comes in winning 9 of their last 10, so both teams are pretty hot coming into this game. It should be an interesting game. The winner, this game takes place tomorrow at 8 p.m. on ESPN Plus. No, yeah, I think it's ESPNU. And the winner takes on Stanford on Friday. So the number 1 seed Stanford Cardinal on Friday. So it's good to try to get a dub under your belt before you go take on the Cardinal. So looking at Sacred Heart, offensively they average 62.9 points per game, which is third in the league. Defensively, they're second in the league, allowing 58.6 points per game, and that gives them a scoring margin of 4.3 points per game. On the positive side, they outscore their opponents by 4.3 points per game. They are 8th in the league in free throw shooting at 65%. They are 4th in the league in field goal percentage at 38%. Defensively, they're second at 38% of 3-point shooting. They are 8th in the league, shooting 27% from 3. Their opponents shoot 31% from 3, which is 3rd in the league. Rebounding, they lead the league with 37.6 rebounds per game. Defensive rebounding by your opponents, they are 6th in the league at 36.8 rebounds per game, giving them a rebound margin of 0.7 on the positive side. That's 3rd in the league. They are 2nd in the league at block shots at 3.1 blocks per game. They are 8th in assists at 10.6 assists per game. Steals, they are they lead the league in steals at 9.7 steals per game. They average 15.7 turnovers per game. They force 19.4, giving them a plus 3.6 turnover margin. They attack the offensive glass really well. They lead the league in offensive rebounding at 12.9 offensive boards per game. And they are 5th in defensive rebounding at 24.7 rebounds per game. And they make about 5.3 threes per game. So, this team is not necessarily an outside shooting team, as you can see by their numbers. They are more of a get it in the paint type of team. And that's all because of their freshman dynamo, Nasera Pryor. She's only 5'3", but she leads the team in rebounding at 6.8 rebounds per game, which is a full rebound more than Amelia Wood, who is second on the team in rebounding at 5.6 rebounds per game. Wood is 6 foot tall. They're this team doesn't have a tremendous amount of height. They're not like Pine Bluff or Jackson State tall. They mainly they have a couple of 6 foot girls, 1'6'1" and 1'6'2". So they're more probably size wise even with Southern. But Pryor is the straw that stirs the drink. Like I said, she's only 5'3" and she's a freshman. She's averaging over 6 rebounds per game, almost 7, and she's averaging 18.2 points per game, along with Sahada Bonner, who averages 11 points per game. Those are the only two double-digit scorers on the team. The one thing that Pryor doesn't do well is shoot threes. She only shoots 20% from three. She shoots 48% from the field, and she obviously leads the team in assists as well. But assists and steals, she has like 90 more steals than the second place person. So she's gonna be around the basketball at all times, all game long. So if you're Southern, you definitely want to know where she's at, and you want to make sure that you keep her under control, because if she gets going, then this team is gonna be tough to stop. Like I said, you really want to kind of pack the paint and force them to shoot jump shots. You want to keep her outside the paint. You want to limit her drives. You want to keep her off the boards, because she can sneak in and get some rebounds and get some putbacks or extend possessions. And she could take it and take a defensive rebound and take off in transition due to her size. So if you're Southern, you definitely want to monitor her at all times. You want to know where she's at. Like I said, Bonner is really, if there was anybody else, I would say that you would definitely have to kind of keep an eye out on is her. She shoots 30% from three. She's taken and made the most threes on the team. She's made 60, and she's taken 196. So she's pretty much the outside shooter. Wood, at 6 foot tall, can step out and shoot threes. She shoots 33%. And those are the only two players on the team that shoot a decent average from three. So they are, like I said, they're not a team that's going to shoot a lot of threes. They just are more of a team that tries to play inside. So if you're, like I said, you're Southern, you want to lean on your defense. Southern is a team that plays defense pretty well. They can pressure. Like I said, they're real scrappy, and they really kind of force you to kind of play at their pace. They obviously, with Southern not having a lot of size, they can be had inside. But I think with the pressure that Southern has, they can kind of force this team to maybe play a little bit faster than they want to. Although Sacred Heart forces a lot of turnovers. So this is going to be whoever wins the turnover battle, I think, is going to win this game. Southern doesn't score a lot of points. They only score 57 points per game, but they give up 60. So they're pretty solid defensively. They 2.6 on the negative side of the turnover margin. Southern shoots 37% from the field, which is fifth in the league. Defensively, their opponents shoot 41%, which is sixth in the league. 3-point shooting, Southern shoots 34% from three, and they have that has gotten better as the season's going on. They have shooters, McWayne, Fontenot, Hunter. Those are players that can really knock down those shots. They're fourth in 3-point defense at 28%, so that definitely is going to help them in this game. I think you really want to force the team to shoot from outside. I think if you want them to beat you, you have to make them make jump shots to beat you. Rebound, free throw percentage, Southern shoots 56%, and that's, if that was other than size, free throw shooting is Southern's Achilles heel. So if there's anything I think that would take down Southern in this game, is free throw shooting. Now, they shot the ball pretty well in the tournament. Now, whether that can carry over to another destination after a few days off, we'll see. But that, tournament play is going to be extra physical, so you have to make free throws because you're going to get to the line at some point in this game. Rebounding, Southern is last in the league in rebounding at 31.6 rebounds per game, so they're going to be at a disadvantage on the boards, but they are at a disadvantage on the boards against most teams they play, but they are actually second in the league in opponents rebounds at 36.5. So they can still kind of make it tough for you to get boards, even though they're not the biggest team now. Raven White is she's 6'1", but she's more of a solid player inside. She's kind of tough to move at times, but she's gonna be counting on to really be the anchor to this defense as long as she's not in foul trouble. Southern forces 15.2 turnovers. They average 15.2 turnovers a game, and they force 19.1. So these two teams are almost even in turnovers, forced and committed. So this is a pretty even battle in a lot of ways. Like I said, I just think whoever, if Southern can force this team to be more of a perimeter-oriented team and they can knock down shots, then I think Southern has a good chance in this game. If Southern is playing more on their heels because Sacred Heart is able to get the ball inside, or Southern shots aren't falling, then it's going to be a tough matchup for Southern. Southern only has one double-digit scorer, and that's Genovia Johnson. She's a dynamo. She can get, she loves to drive. She plays at one speed all game. She's really solid on defense. She can put the team on her back and score buckets when they need them. But for Southern to win, they're going to need their shooters to be on par. And that's Fontenot, who shoots 38%, McWayne, who shoots 35%, Hunter shoots 32%. Metcalf, she can shoot. She doesn't shoot a lot of threes, but she's made 44% of threes. And so you're gonna have to step out and hit some shots in this game because that's what you do. You wanna keep the lane open so Johnson can do her drives and score. And you have to knock down those threes because that's what gets your offense going. So you're gonna want to feed off of your shooting, and hopefully that can translate to you playing, solid defense. If you can get this as an up and down game, even though Southern doesn't score a lot of points, Southern will go get up and down the floor with you. So they don't mind playing at a faster tempo. So you want to kind of look out for that. I'm eagerly excited for this game simply because this is an opponent that we'll probably never ever see at any point. So it's always good to see how you match up against other teams, and it's interesting to see if Southern can stay hot because they were pretty hot in the tournament. They had a little luck too, but they were pretty hot in the tournament, and it's tough to turn that off, take a couple of days off, and then turn it back on against an unfamiliar opponent. So I think it's important for both teams to get off to a good start. But if we're speaking strictly from the Southern standpoint here, it's important for Southern to get off to a good start. They have to make some shots. Even though they gave up the lead, they had a nice fast start against Pine Bluff, and that really helped them get going. Because you at least get yourself in a position where you're seeing shots go in the basket, and you giving yourself opportunity to make some things happen. So I'm eager for this game, man. And like I said, I think Southern has a great chance, but the factors that I said are very important. And those factors are you have to be able to score from outside. You're going to have to defend the paint because Pryor is going to be in the paint a lot. So you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to stay out of foul trouble. And you're going to have to take care of the ball because this team forces a lot of turnovers. So that's where I stand with this one. Obviously we all Jaguars over here. So that's the way that's going. Next game we have is the women's NIT, and that's Jackson State heading to Memphis. That game is on Thursday, March 16th, at 7 p.m. I think it's on ESPN Plus, but let me double check that. ESPN 3. But a lot of people felt like Jackson State would get a home game in the WNIT, so it's a little surprising that they had to go on the road. But you know how these committees look at your teams. So, they sent them on the road to a pretty solid Memphis team. This team finished second in the AAC, 20-10 overall, 11-4 in conference. They lost to East Carolina, who was the third seed in the semifinals of their conference tournament. So this is a team that had won 5 or 6 straight games coming into the tournament. So they were pretty hot, and they won a game in the tournament before they lost. So they're pretty hot as far as streaking goes. And I mean, obviously, Jackson State resume speaks for itself. 21-9, 17-1 in conference. Lost in the conference semifinals on the last second 3-pointer. Really weird ending to a game. So, this team is, they are what they are. Jackson State is a tall team, and they play good defense. And like I said, this season they've been shooting the ball better from outside. Free throws obviously were a problem in the Southern loss. So hopefully, that's something that they can continue to get better, get more consistent at. But let's take a look at the Tigers of Memphis and see what they bring to the table, because this again, unfamiliar opponent for a lot of people. So let's kind of take a dive into what you can expect from Memphis. Looking at this team, they are third in the league at scoring at 67.8 points per game. They are sixth in scoring defense at 60.7 points per game. That gives them a margin of +7, so they outscore their opponents pretty handily. That's actually fourth in the league. They shoot 65% from the free throw line, so not great. That's 10th in the league out of 11 teams. So they have their struggles at the free throw line, and that could be an issue in a game like this. They shoot 38% from the field, which is sixth in the league. Defensively, their opponents shoot also 38%, which is ninth in the league. 3-point percentage, they shoot 31% from the 3-point line, which is third in the league. 3-point defense, the opponents shoot 27%, which is fourth. So they are pretty good on the perimeter. Offensive rebounding, they're second. Rebounding as a team for them, they're second in the league at 42.7 rebounds per game. The opponents' rebounding numbers are 35.2, which is fourth in the league, giving them a rebound margin of 7.5 rebounds per game on the positive side. They're second in the league, so they definitely are a really good team on the boards. They block 3.3 shots per game, which is eighth in the league. Assists, they are 10th in the league at 10.1. Steals, they are sixth in the league at 7.7. They are third in the league in turnover margin. They force 16.1 turnovers per game. They commit 14.5. And they are a really good offensive rebounding team. They lead the league in offensive rebounds at 16.2 offensive rebounds per game. So they're going to be tough on the boards. They make like 5.3 threes per game, which is fifth in the league. So they don't shoot a whole lot of threes, but they're gonna, take that opportunity when it comes to them. I'm looking at some of their numbers individually. They're led in scoring by Jamira Shoots. She averages 14.8 points per game. Madison Griggs is at 12.2, and Imani Jefferson is at 10.2. So they have three double-digit scores. After that is Hannah Riddick at 5.3. So those three players are going to be what gets them going. Let's take a look at it. Griggs is a 5'9" guard. She's a senior. Jefferson is a 5'6" guard. She's a junior. And Shoots is a 5'9" guard. She's a fifth-year senior. So all three of these guards, they play. Looks like they play like a 3-guard lineup. So they're not a huge team, honestly. They do have a 6'4" center, Jada Wright. She's a fifth-year player. Destiny Thomas is also 6'4", but she's a freshman. Leah Green is 6'1". Lynetta Williams is 6'3", so they have some size. They're gonna, try to match that with Jackson State. Um, but looking at some of the other individual numbers, their leading rebounder is Hannah Riddick. She averages 6.6 rebounds per game. Imani Jefferson, 5.7. Destiny Thomas, 5.6. Jada Wright, 4.3. Shelby Brown, 3.2. The leading three-point shooter with multiple attempts is Madison Griggs. She's 79 of 221 for 35%. Other than that, really shoots. that's so weird to say. Shoots 21% from three. So she, again, their leading scorer, is not a great three-point shooter. She's 25 of 115. She's taken the second most threes on the team, and she's made the second most, but her percentage is low. But she also shoots 34% from the field. So she's not the most efficient player, but she gets her points. And they kind of, like I said, they kind of find their way to scoring. I think this team is going to more often than not try to, force turnovers and work the boards and get their points that way. Because I don't really see them really, they're not going to just come out and shoot lights out. Looking at Jackson State, some of the numbers really quickly, they average 68.9 points per game, which leads the league. They also lead the league in scoring defense at 59 points per game. They lead the league in field goal percentage, 41%. They lead the league in field goal defense at 34%. They're second in three-point shooting at 32%. The opponents shoot 28%, which is third. Free throw shooting, they're fifth at 66%. So, these two teams are pretty even on the free throw line. They just, look, you can see the difference in our conference free throw shooting and their conference free throw shooting because they shoot about the same percentage and they're almost last place and Jackson State is like fifth. So there's a lot of poor free throw shooting teams in our league, which is something that makes me want to pull my hair out. Jackson State leads the league in rebounding at 41.7 rebounds per game. That should be a really good battle on the boards because Memphis averages 43. So both of these teams are going to definitely bang it out on the glass. Jackson State's opponents average 33 rebounds per game. So, like I said, this is going to be a good battle. I think this game can be an underrated game in terms of, how it turns out. Jackson State averages 15.4 turnovers per game. They force 14. So they turn the ball over a little bit more than you want, and they don't really force as many turnovers as you would like. They actually force the least amount of turnovers in the league. So they don't necessarily have to turn you over with their size, but you always kind of want that opportunity to do that. They lead the league in block shots, obviously at 4.9 because they are a very tall team. They are third in assists, 12.1, so they share the ball well. And I mean, this is a team that plays team ball, and they know their roles. They know how to win, and they know how to get the most out of their team. So. I expect it to be a really good battle. Now Memphis is like 9-4 at home, so they have lost some games at home. You just, you want to, they can, this team can be beaten, but you're gonna have to play a really solid game, man. You're gonna have to play. You're gonna have to play lights out, man. Your scorers are gonna have to score. You're gonna have to rebound, and you're gonna have to play solid defense, and it's a home game for Memphis, so I don't like to say it like that, but you're going to have to watch for fouls, man. You're going to have to try to take care of them, try to keep them off the line. Now, if they're missing free throws, then maybe you put them there and see where it shapes up. But I think this should be a very good game, man. I think Jackson State has a great chance in this game. I mean, obviously they played some Power 5 teams, and they've come up, just a little bit short. They did beat Texas Tech, so they can compete with anybody. This team is not going to come in and lay down. I will say that for sure. They're not going to come in and lay down. That's I don't care how you put it. That's just not going to happen. So Memphis is going to have to come to work and have to come play because Jackson State is going to come to play. So I expect this to be I think this is going to be a kind of physical game, man, because I think Memphis, like I said, they like to work the boards. and JSU is strong on the board. So I think whoever wins the rebounding battle and the turnover battle is going to be the difference. Now, if Jackson State can step outside and knock down a few shots to kind of spread Memphis out defensively, then I think that'll help as well, and that will also help you get on the boards on the offensive end. So I think Jackson State has a good chance in this game. I mean, I think they have a really, really solid chance in this game. I'm eager to see how this thing turns out. So that's gonna do it for our women's portion of the of tournament play. Let's take a look at the men's side, man. We're gonna start with the first four. Texas Southern is playing Fairleigh Dickinson. FDU is they are the champs of the NEC. Now they finished second place, but they come in an odd way. They actually did not win that conference tournament. They lost to Merrimack in the conference championship, but Merrimack is ineligible for they're ineligible for the NCAA tournament because they're still in their NCAA transition from to D1, so they can't make it to the tournament yet. So that puts that puts the team who made the championship game that play against them, that automatically put them into the tournament, regardless of what the outcome of the game was. So that puts them here in a kind of odd situation, but that doesn't make them obviously any less dangerous. Matter of fact, they're a pretty solid team, and this team does like to press. They really are a high pressure team. They're gonna get out there and kind of make some things happen. So this game should be an entertaining game. Texas Southern has obviously won in the first four, so they're not gonna be shook up by anything that they see. None of this is gonna be too big for them. And that's obviously a good thing because playing in a situation like this, it can kind of put you in an odd spot. You haven't played in a while, or you played on Saturday. Now you got to turn around and play on Wednesday. In this case, game is at 5:40 p.m. on True TV. But you're playing again an unfamiliar opponent with not that much time to prepare, but Texas Southern can definitely lean on their experience in this game to help them. So I give them that edge, and I think once we kind of look at these two teams, we'll get a better idea of the chances that Texas Southern has. Like I said, to me, before we get any deeper in this, the fact that Texas Southern in the tournament they not all game, but they had times during games where they did get sloppy with the ball. So you really want to make sure that you keep that under control because that can hurt you. So let's look at Fairleigh Dickinson and we'll see what the Knights are all about. So they actually lead the league in scoring at 77.8 points per game. Defensively, they are eighth in the league out of 9 teams at 74.9. So that gives them a margin of plus 2.9, which actually leads the league. So they're gonna get up and down the floor. They want to play a high tempo. They want to score the ball. So you're really gonna have to be ready for that. By comparison, Texas Southern averages 69.4 points per game, and they allow 71.6. So TSU is they're not going to be as fast tempo wise, but they can get up and down the floor because I think out of the two teams, I think they have the better scorers just on paper. So TSU does have that advantage to me. Fairleigh Dickinson shoots 74% from the free throw line, which is second. They're second in the league in field goal percentage at 45. Defensively, they're last in field goal percentage at 47. So you can score on them. They're gonna give up points, and they're gonna give up shots all over the floor, allowing 47%. They shoot 34% from three, which is fourth in the league. Their opponents shoot 36%, which is 8. So deep, like I said, this team, they pressure a lot, but they are not a really solid defensive team. So if you can get into your offense and, you get your guys going, I can see Barnes, Walker, Henry. I can see these guys as long as they are consistent. I can see them causing them a lot of problems, especially a guy like PJ Henry. I think he's gonna cause some problems in this game for them because he can hit from anywhere. Using a guy like Walker who can step out and make a 3 or 6-9 or get to the basket, and Barnes can do a little bit of everything. So I think with them, I think they have a really good chance in this game. Fairleigh Dickinson is fourth in rebounding at 34.2 rebounds per game. Their opponents average 33.4. They give them a margin of 0.7 on the positive side, which is second in the league. They block 1.9 shots per game, so that's 8. They don't really block a lot of shots. They do lead the league in assists at 14.9 per game. They're second in steals at 8.03, which to say they pressure a lot, they force a decent amount of steals, but they're 3 full steals behind Merrimack, who leads the league in steals. But they're first in the league in turnover margin. This team does not turn the ball over. They average 11.5 turnovers per game, which is the fewest in the league. So they don't turn the ball over. So if you're coming in, and having turnovers be your primary way of getting advantage in this game, that's going to be tough for you. They force 15.6 turnovers per game, which is second in the league, and their margin is 4.2 on the positive side. So they are definitely gonna turn you over, and they're very careful with the ball. And they're second in the league in offensive rebounds at 11.7, and they are 7th in the league in defensive rebounds at 22.4. Looking at looking at what you can kind of expect from this team individually, as we pull, let's pull this up. We're gonna get a little bit of a deep dive into their personnel and see what they expect from this team. Like I said, I think obviously I'm partial. I'm SWAC on every game in this one. But TSU definitely has some advantages. I like their offensive guys, but that's more of a familiarity than anything. This team did finish 19-15 overall and 10-6 in conference, which was good for second place. Their leading scorer on the season is Dimitri Roberts. He averages 16.7 points per game. They have 3 double-digit scores. Grant Singleton is at 14.3, and Ansley Almanor is at 13.9, and Joe Munden is at 10.4. So they actually have 4 double-digit scores. So those are going to be your guys that you really have to look out for. Like I say, size-wise, they're a pretty average-sized team. Munden is 6'3". Roberts is 5'8". He's a smaller guy. Singleton is 5'9". So they have a short backcourt, 5'8" and 5'9", and Munden is 6'3". So they run a 3-guard lineup. Almanor is 6'6". Other than that, they have 6'6". They have a 6'7" guy, and they have a 6'5". So they don't really have a ton of height. So that's definitely an advantage for Texas Southern with Nicholas and Walker, especially to be able to get in and operate. So I think Nicholas is going to be able to do his job on the boards because he's a relentless guy on the boards. When it comes to rebounding, the Knights are led by Munden at 4.9 rebounds per game, Almanor 4.7, and Sean Moore, that's my nephew's name, is at 4.5 rebounds per game. Sorry, y'all, I'm goofy. Field 3-point shooting, the guy that you want to look out for is Grant Singleton. He's 74 of 192 for 38%, and Almanor is 68 of 181 for 37%. Munden shoots 34%. Roberts is 60, 180 for 33%. So their top four guys that score can all knock down shots from outside. Now they're all around the average 3-point shooting range, but they can knock down some shots, and they've all taken a lot of threes. So they have three guys that's taken over 153. So they're gonna put up some shots. And that's really one of the things that you want to look for. Almanor is their guy who blocks the most shots. He's at 23 blocks per game, or 23 blocks. So he's more of their rim protector. I like I said, I just think if Texas Southern can use the size that they have, I think that gives them a good opportunity in this game, because they're gonna, this team knows what's at stake. They know how to play in March. Coach Jones is gonna have his team prepared. Looking at a couple more numbers for Texas Southern, they shoot 42% from the field, which is fourth in the league. Defensively, the opponents shoot 42% as well, which is third in the league. So they're gonna give up buckets, but they can definitely put the ball in the basket. They are last in 3-point percentage at 28%, but they have shooters. That's the thing. But they, like I said, this team was up and down all season with injuries. Some guys playing that probably shouldn't have been playing at certain points. So the numbers aren't that great. But when you have a guy like Henry who can, go whatever and have 2 points in the first half and score 24 in the second, or score like 11 points in the last 5-6 minutes of a game, knocking down 2 or 3 threes in that span. If he gets hot, he can knock down those shots. So that's always going to be something that keeps you in the game. They're pretty solid on 3-point defense at 32%. They shoot 66% from the line, so that's definitely going to be something to keep an eye out on. When it comes to rebounding, they actually lead the league in rebounding at 37 rebounds per game. So this team is definitely gonna, they're gonna get out there and work on the glass. This should be an interesting battle because, like I said, you got a guy like Carl Nicholas who is definitely gonna be on offensive glass and defensive glass. If Fairleigh Dickinson can't keep him off the glass, that's gonna be a problem for them. He's a double-double waiting to happen as long as he doesn't get in foul trouble. Because he will try to take charges, and sometimes he'll get a bad foul here or there. But like I said, this team, Texas Southern, man, what they're bringing to the table. They won 3 games to get here, knocking off all higher seeds. Although they were picked to be the top team in the conference, injuries and everything really hurt them. Barnes is the leading scorer at 13.6 points per game. Henry 12.7, Walker 12.6. Nicholas 10.7. So those are the guys that you can count on. But then you got a guy like Granger who can get hot. Also Craig can get you some buckets. Gilliam can get you some buckets. This team, this is just a team that knows their role. Nicholas averages 8.9 rebounds per game. Like I said, that's almost a double-double waiting to happen. So he can definitely impact this game on both ends of the court. He also has 28 blocks and 25 steals, so he can definitely impact this game. He's a guy that I think a lot more people should pay attention to because he does a lot for this team. He has 44 assists as a big guy, so he can definitely do a lot of things for you. So I think he's going to be important with this team, helping them with break that pressure, and working the glass and giving them second chance opportunities for your guys to make those buckets. Henry shoots 35% from the field. From 3-point line. Granger is at 32. Farouk at 31. Barnes at 28. Walker at 27. Just like the Southern game, it's important to get off to a good start. You can say the same thing for the Jackson State game. It's obviously important to get off to a good start because you don't want to give a team an opportunity to build up some momentum, and you don't want them to start to feel good about themselves and start to get a couple of shots to fall, and next thing you know, they're off to the races because this team can score. But like I said, they give up points as well, so you really have a decent chance of staying in this game. There are, but like I said, that pressure gets to you and you turn the ball over, they can run away with this game. So it's important for Southern to take care of the ball, rebound, and make those shots. When they get them, you definitely don't want to start off slow and put yourself in a position where the whistles are affecting you and you're struggling to score. So I think Texas Southern has a great chance. They know how to win in this situation. This is not new for them. So they're gonna. I don't think the lights are gonna be too bright for them. So I think they'll be able to relax and get off to a decent start and find themselves in a good position in this game. So that brings us to our last game to talk about, and that's the NIT. And that's the Big Bad Braves of Alcorn. They head to Denton, Texas, to take on the North Texas Eagle, the Mean Green. So this should be a very interesting game as well. North Texas is out of Conference USA. They finished second in the conference. They lost in the semifinals. So I think they lost to UAB, I believe, in the semifinals. So they're a team who are very capable. This is going to be a tough game, man. This team is really solid at home, and playing in the NIT and playing on the road is tough. Especially facing teams who maybe feel like they probably thought they should have made the tournament. They're 26-7, so they definitely have a solid record to make the tournament. They're 12-2. They didn't do really great against tournament teams, but they have opportunity to make some things happen. So this is not going to be an easy game. Even though a lot of people may not have heard a lot about North Texas, but they're gonna be tough. But Alcorn is definitely gonna be ready. Coach Bussey is gonna have his guys ready to play, and they're gonna come out and do what they can do. So let's look at some of the numbers for North Texas. We'll see where they stack up in Conference USA. They are last in scoring at 64.2 points per game. Defensively, they lead the league in scoring at 55. So they don't score a lot, but they stymie you on defense. That gives them a scoring margin of plus 13. Of plus 8.4, which is third in the league. They are good. They're really good at the free throw line. They shoot 75%. They shoot 43% from the field, which is 10th in the league. Defensively, their opponent shoots 39, which leads the league. They shoot 35% from three, which is right in the middle of the conference. Their three-point defense is first at 30%. So, this is a defensive team. They're definitely going to hang their hat on that defense. They're not a great rebounding team. They only average 33.6 rebounds per game. Their opponents only average 28. So they control everything on that end. So this is going to be a game where Alcorn going to have to work to get some shots and knock down some shots. And they're going to have to work to get on the boards against this team. They're third in rebounding margin at 0.49. They block 2.9 shots per game, which is fifth. They average 11.1 assists, which is ninth. They average 6.3 steals per game, which is seventh. They turn the ball over. They don't turn the ball over a lot. They average 11.8 turnovers per game, and they force 12.3. So they don't really force a lot of turnovers, even though they're really solid defense. I don't think their game is predicated on turning you over. I think their game is just more stopping you from making shots and playing a slower tempo. They do average 10.8 offensive rebounds per game, so they're a pretty solid offensive rebounding team, which can definitely be an issue with keeping up with teams. They average 7.2 threes per game, so they've made 238 threes, so they've knocked down quite a few threes this season, and they've taken 679, which puts them kind of right in the middle of the league. So they attempt a fairly decent amount of threes, but they make a good amount. Um, Looking at the individual players, the scorers, and everything like that, their leading scorer is Tyler Perry. He averages 16.8 points per game. He also shoots 41% from three, so he can fill it up. He's their shooter. Um, he's a guy that's definitely gonna knock down some threes for them. He is 93 of 221, so he's taking a lot of threes. He's taking almost 100 threes more than the second guy, and he's made almost double. He's made more than double the amount that Kay Huntsberry made. So those are really your two guys who you look at as shooters. Huntsberry shoots 31%, although Scott Aaron shoots 40%, but he's taking 45 threes. Also, Huntsberry averages 12.2 points, and Abdou Osamain, I messed the name up. He's averaging 11.3 points per game. So, like I said, Perry is the guy that you're gonna want to look out for when it comes to rebounding. Obasami, he leads the team with 6.1 rebounds per game. Aaron at 5.5. I think, like I said, this is gonna be because of the style of play that North Texas plays. This is gonna be an important ball point to make the most of every possession that they have. They have to make shots, or they have to take care of the ball, and they have to keep themselves, in it. They're gonna have to work on the glass because there's not gonna be a lot of opportunities for those things to happen. Looking at Perry, man, he's a guy that can get hot. Last season he hit for 35. This season his high was 25. So excuse me, this season his high was 28. So he definitely can be a guy that can make some shots. He's the conference player of the year. He's first team all conference. He was first team all tournament team. So he's definitely going to be a guy to look out for. He set a program record for the most 3-pointers made in a game without a miss, going 7 for 7 against San Jose State. So you can really, he's going to be the guy that you need to stop for this team. Looking at this team as far as their size goes, again, they're not a really, really tall team. They do have 6'10", 6'9", a couple 6'8", a couple 6'7" guys. Other than that, everybody's like 6'3" and below. So but like I said, that style of play is just gonna be physical and play defense. I think they're gonna. I'm not saying their defense is that way, but the looking at this team, that style is kind of similar to Grambling as far as getting in your chest and making you pay defensively. Alcorn offensively, they average 68 points per game, which is 5th in the league. The opponents average 70.6, which is 4th, also 5th in the league. Field goals, they shoot 41%, which is 7th. The opponents shoot 44%, which is 9th. 3-point shooting, Alcorn shoots 29% from 3. So that's definitely going to be an issue against this North Texas team because they don't allow you to get a lot of good shots from the perimeter. So it's going to be vital for Alcorn to take advantage of any opportunity they have in that aspect. Alcorn's opponents shoot 33% free throws. Alcorn is 2nd in the league at 72%. So both teams shoot more than 70% from the free throw line. So this is going to be a game where free throws are definitely going to be at a premium. You're not going to want to miss free throws when you have two teams that shoot free throws really well. So you're going to have to take advantage of those opportunities. Alcorn averages 33 rebounds per game. Their opponents average 33.6. So that's pretty even. Turnovers. This team is 2nd in turnover margin. They turn the ball over 12.7 times a game. Again, they don't turn the ball over a lot either. They force 14.5, so they force a few more turnovers. But they're pretty careful with the basketball. When it comes to block shots, they block 2.5 shots per game, and they average 10 assists per game, along with 8.03 steals a game. So they're gonna have to just take advantage of the opportunities that come their way, because I think there's not gonna be a lot there. When it comes to scoring, Bruton averages 12 points. Joshua is at 12 points. Joshua is at 11.2. Kendall at 11.1. Montgomery 10.5. Those are the guys that are really going to have to make some things happen. I think, to me, a nice matchup would be Perry and Joshua. I think that's going to be a nice point guard battle. I would like to see, Isaiah Jeremiah Kendall get some work inside. He's a guy who can, get on the glass. He averages 6.7 boards per game. He can score inside. So that's definitely the guy that you want to see kind of get in there and mix it up. Like I said, North Texas is not super tall, but they are adequate, and they do what they're comfortable with doing. So for Alcorn, I don't know. It's kind of tough because they're not a team that plays really fast. That doesn't mean they can't get up and down the floor, because they can do that. But I think they're going to have to play a little bit faster in this game to maybe speed North Texas up a little bit, to kind of get them out of their comfort zone, because obviously they're playing at home, which is going to be a good advantage for them. They set the line at like 17, so they're not giving Alcorn any kind of a chance. I just think Alcorn needs to come out and just, I guess the common denominator for every game in this preview is get a good start. And playing on the road is definitely vital to get a good start. Keep yourself in the game and see where things happen. Keep yourself in a position where you can make a play here or there, and next thing you know, you have a good opportunity. So you're gonna have to be efficient with your shooting, because you're not gonna get a lot of opportunities, and you're gonna have to take advantage of any rebounding that you have, because this team is not gonna give you a lot. So you're gonna have to make your own look. You're gonna have to make your own opportunities, and you just need to play free, man. I mean, you got an extra chance to play basketball, and you got a chance to go out there and prove some people wrong. So just go out there, play free and loose, but play a little bit, play in control, but be free and loose, and just give yourself a chance to see where it turns out. So that's gonna do it for today's show, man. That's all 4 games that we have taking place. Again, the Texas Southern game against Fairleigh Dickinson is at 5:40 tomorrow on True TV. Alcorn is playing North Texas on ESPN Plus at 7 p.m. Southern is playing Sacred Heart at 8 o'clock on ESPNU. And Jackson State is playing Memphis on Thursday at 7 on ESPN3. So a lot of SWAC basketball that you can catch. Let's see if we can pull off some victories and extend this season. So with that being said, I'm your boy C. Wells. I'm signing out, man. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day, and we'll catch y'all on the rebound. Peace.